Let's head on over and speak with Savanah, who has some massive news today as we talk about some wins at the DOJ. Savanah, who was savagely attacked, and I want to play you some of this footage right now. Savanah was attacked by banshees, by animals in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and they spit on her, pushed her, behaved like something you would see in Hotel Rwanda, third world. These people are demonic, and there's no other word for it. And they can't mask their anger, and they take it out on our side, and we're seeing the scourges of this across the land. And that is why it is so critical and so important for our DOJ to come slamming down on this behavior, which they did yesterday. Oh, it's hard to watch. We love Savanah. We've known Savanah for ages. We support her work, and we're proud to have her joining the show right now. Please welcome Savanah Hernandez, fresh off of DOJ indictments for these libtards and Reddit brain rotters who attacked her. Savanah Hernandez joins us live. Savanah, welcome back to the program. I am so thrilled to see the DOJ's actions yesterday, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. But par for the course for you. This certainly isn't the first time the left has attacked you. It's just the first time that the federal government has acted on your behalf to protect you, and it's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, Benny. I mean, honestly, this is the first time that I've actually seen the FBI utilized to help the American people. So I never thought I would say it in my life, but thank you to the FBI. I'm incredibly grateful to them because under this administration, the organization is actually being utilized to bring justice against violent criminals in this country. Now, yesterday, the DOJ brought indictments against all three of the people who attacked me, Chris, Paige, and Diana Astrushko. I was out in front of the Whipple Ice facility in Minneapolis, which has been a huge point of contention. And I made a point not to interview anybody there because I knew the left wing, they get very easily agitated and they will use any excuse to violently attack you. So I made a point not to interview anybody, but it didn't matter. This violent family came up to me. And it was actually William Scott Kelly, who was already arrested for storming a church in Minneapolis, leaving children crying and screaming after they shut down their church service. It was that man who initially came up to me and identified me and started screaming at me. Then the mob formed, and Deanna and Chris had body checked me and shoved me multiple times prior to this clip that you just played, even, playing the assault initially even happening. They were already blowing whistles in my ear. They were already body checking me. Chris had already come up behind me and very threateningly screamed in my ear. And I was not doing anything to this family. At multiple times, I just told them like, hey, back up and calm down. I'm not here to even interview anybody. And at that point, because they were surrounding me, I tried to be a good journalist and just say, okay, well, utilize my platform. Why is this important to you? It didn't matter. This family became extremely violent, and this is the direct result of the left wing being radicalized and being allowed to violently attack people for almost the last decade at this point. So the fact that the DOJ and the FBI came in and they slammed down the hammer was incredible to see, and I'm extremely grateful for it, especially since Hennepin County came out with their own charges, and you guessed it, Deanna and Paige, who were in this very clip, slamming me to the ground and tackling me multiple times, are not being charged by the Hennepin County DA. They are simply charging Chris with a misdemeanor assault charge.
So the local county is barely touching these people and protecting them. They're protecting the left-wing terrorists who attacked an innocent woman and journalist on the street.
Basically, Benny, I mean, I'm not the first journalist who's been attacked covering the Whipple Ice facility. And I mean, I hope I'm the last. And it is taking the federal government coming in and actually stopping these left-wing jurisdictions, because what's been happening for a long time is in these liberal jurisdictions, the county DA, the district court judges just look the other way when violent crimes are committed. Even further, let's say something goes to trial, the entire jury is extremely liberal. So quite frankly, in many of these places, you don't have a justice system at all. So this has been happening for a long time. And like I said, first time in my political career that I've actually seen the FBI be responsive to this type of very violent crime. And I'm extremely grateful for it.
So what is going to happen next? Have you been in contact with the feds?
I have been. I have been in contact with multiple officials, and they have basically just walked me through the process of what will be happening next. Of course, there's going to be, multiple smaller trials as we move forward, but we're really hoping to see justice served and this case seen all the way through.
So what could happen potentially? What would be the charges leading to jail time, prison time? What are the summary of the charges?
So the charges are basically assault charges against all three, and then against Paige and Chris themselves. You also have, basically, they obstructed my First Amendment right. So they obstructed my civil rights. So they're also being faced with that charge. I'm not super familiar with the legal jargon, so I can't give you the exact title off the top of my head, but those are the charges that they're facing. And yes, I'm hoping that there will be prison time tied to this. Again, Benny, I'm waiting to see how it plays out. And I do hope that justice is served to the full extent of the law in this.
A lot of journalists were mewling and crying on air about an attack on the press over the weekend with the president's the assassination attempt, and they claim to be victims. I find it remarkable that none of these journalists ever back you up when you have photographic 4K evidence of being attacked viciously in the street. None of that ever exists of any left-wing journalist at, like, let's say, a MAGA rally. Yet you have, I don't know, Savanah, it makes me really sad, but like you have maybe a dozen, maybe a half dozen documented cases of somebody viciously attacking you, spitting on you, trying to hit you, throwing something at you. Am I correct there?
Yes, Benny, this is not the first time I've been this viciously mobbed and assaulted. And again, I hope it is finally the last, at least under this administration. I think it will be, because the FBI is setting a very strong precedent here. But again, regarding what you just said about the media and them not caring about First Amendment rights or, journalists as a whole at all who are actually telling the truth, CBS actually went and interviewed some of the protesters who alleged that they were rescuing me. Keep in mind, these protesters were surrounding me and calling me profanities and telling me that I needed to leave the property. I was on a public sidewalk. That's who they chose to interview. They didn't even reach out to me directly. They reached out to these protesters who were mobbing me and screaming at me as the arbiters of truth in this situation.
So what is your message to other young journalists? Because most people would see this and say, why would I ever want anybody to walk into this profession? It's like a death sentence. And over a long enough period of time, that's what they want to do to all of us, Savanah.
Yeah, Benny, honest to God, the first week after this happened, I ended up just having to cancel all of my media hits because from a mental perspective, I was in that mind space and in that headspace of, is this even worth it? Because I'm putting my life on the line at this point. And I would say that dying for the United States of America and dying for our rights is our duty and what we are here to do. And I'm willing to do that. So to anybody who is willing or wanting to be in this profession, understand that it is dangerous, but the truth is dangerous, but it's worth it.
So what happens next, Savanah? Is this going to deter you? Are you going to stop doing what you do?
Nope, it definitely won't, Benny. Again, I have a full day of media lined up, and I'm going to keep pushing forward. And I'm going to make sure that the full force of the law is utilized against these people in multiple ways. So stay tuned for that, Benny. We have a lot coming, and I'm very excited to make sure that justice is served in this case. They pushed the wrong person.
Really? That's very interesting. Okay, I got to ask a follow-up on that one, Savanah, before I let you go. So we've obviously seen that these kind of cases can also be brought civilly, and there are, of course, you're not allowed to do this, right? Again, let's look at the scenario. You're simply a independent journalist, young female, standing alone, surrounded by a bunch of left-wingers, and they savagely beat you to the ground. That's, of course, not legal. And there are a ton of remedies for that, some of them civil remedies. Are you saying that you're going to bring civil cases against these agitators and terrorists?
We'll just have to wait and see, Benny. We'll just have to wait and see.
You learn from the best there. That's a good Trump line, Savanah. Thank you. Okay.
Thanks, Benny.
You learn from the best. Savanah, everybody needs to follow her on social media. If you don't already, you know that she's a favorite of the show. She was also at President Trump's roundtable. We didn't even get to talk about this. You were at President Trump's Antifa violence roundtable, right?
I was, Benny. I was. And I unfortunately have to go. I am so sorry. But yes, I was at the Antifa roundtable. This is why this is such an important issue to me. So yes, go follow me on my social media account. I will be updating you guys on everything. And again, thank you so much, Benny. I really appreciate you.
Nearly 1 million followers. Fight with the people who are fighting for us and for truth. Godspeed, Savanah.
Thanks, Benny.